So who are you? Are you Harry?
No.
Are you Terry? Are you Margot? Who are you? So if we answer this question without our name, without the job, without the things you did, or without your friends, what would you answer? Who are you? And you can't use any of those. Who are you, Shay?
Me.
You're me. And who's me? Me. You're free to be you, right? Yes. And that's what we're here today to talk about, the power within. And we can't have the power within us unless we know who we are, right? If we don't come to the understanding that you are not your name, you are not your job, you are not the friends you hang with. You may act like them, but you are not them. You're not even your story. You're not even your experience. You're here in the human body, but the human body is not who you are. You are power itself, and that power is within you. It is within you, right? So, we're going to have our little mirrors today. So look in your mirror, if you so choose to. And this is a part about getting comfortable with something you're uncomfortable with. If we stay comfortable all the time, would we change? Would we evolve? Would we bring well-being into a world where there's so much chaos and conflict? So this may be uncomfortable for you to look in your mirror and look into your eyes. But by doing this, you get to meet you. You get to meet the capital S self. You get to look into your eyes and see things that may come up for you as you're looking at yourself. Feelings that may need to be expressed that you're not expressing because there's an avoidance. I'm not looking at myself. I'm looking outside of myself, so I don't have to look at myself because it doesn't feel good to me. But those are the things we want to do to stretch ourselves, to evolve ourselves, to grow, and to get to meet the real Terry, the real Harry, the real Margot, the capital S self. So look in your mirror and ask yourself, who am I? Not your name, not your job, not your experience. But ask that question, who am I? What comes up for you right away? What's the first thought that you had when you looked and asked yourself, who am I? Who am I? So most of us, we base who we are on our story, on our experience, on what other people say about us, think about us, right? So I'm going to go through a few little statements here that these are the things that we can ask ourselves. If only I didn't experience this, who would I be? If I didn't have this experience in this lifetime, who would I be? If only they didn't say this about me, maybe I'd be a better person. If only, if only. If only they didn't do this to me. There's that blaming, that shaming, that pointing the finger. If they didn't do this to me, I would be the person I really wanted to be, but because of them, I couldn't be that person. So I gave my power to them. If only they didn't treat me this way. If only my past was different. If only my parents were different. Biggie, biggie, biggie one there, right? If only, if only. So if we're pointing out here, if only this was different, I would be different. There's no power in that. You are playing the victim. You are playing small. You don't want to look inside. You don't want to discover who you truly are. Right? So let's go on a little further here. What if you want to be heard? Hear how you speak to yourself then. I wanted to be heard my entire life and always felt invisible. Never felt like anyone heard me. But if I had known, maybe if I had listened to how I spoke to myself, other people would have spoke differently to me. Right? If you want to feel understood, understand yourself, your thoughts and your feelings. If you want other people to understand you, but yet you don't even understand your own thoughts and your own feelings, how do you think somebody else is going to understand you? Because you're going to come across in that energy that you're not connected to yourself. You don't understand yourself. You don't know why you feel and think the way you do. So that is going to affect what shows up for you. If you want to be taken seriously, take yourself serious. How can you expect other people to take you seriously if you don't take yourself seriously? If you want to be seen, take the time to see all of who you are. The good, the bad, and the ugly. It is okay that there's good and bad and ugly in you. It's in all of us. It is an aspect of life and all of life. It is all good because God is all good. We are all good. But these feelings we have are there for a reason. To let us know what's going on within us. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's called awareness. It's called consciousness. Being aware of it. If you want to feel cared for, care for yourself. I spent all my life caring for everybody else. Never took time to care for myself. And eventually I was so resentful and angry that I became ill. So, if we're out here caring for everybody else and not ourselves, they'll end up turning around caring for you because you're going to need it, basically. If you want to feel important, put yourself first. It is okay for us to put ourselves first. Matter of fact, it is a priority that we put ourselves first. Making ourselves a priority so that we can teach other people how to do that. That's how we fall in love with ourselves. And that's how we teach other people to do the same thing. If you want to be free, this is a biggie. Be honest with yourself. Do you know how many people are not even honest with their own self? Including me. There's times that I know what's really going on and I'm dishonest about it. Because I think I have to be a certain way, be seen a certain way, and I'm not really honest about how I'm feeling about something. So I've taken away my freedom. I'm no longer free to be that expression of myself. If you want to feel loved, practice self-love. Practice self-love, and that's what we're going to do today. What did I do with my little thing? Oh, didn't bring it up here with me. Okay. If only our eyes saw souls instead of bodies, how very different our ideas of beauty would be. So what if you never even focused on your body? What if you got up every day and just knew that I'm this beautiful soul? If you truly, truly knew that, without any doubt, that you're this soul, that you're this spiritual being, would you not look at yourself differently? Look in your mirror and think to yourself, and not just think it, but feel that you're a soul. Do you see differently when you look in this mirror, when you think, I am a soul? Do you see that radiant beauty coming from your heart, that I'm this beautiful spiritual being? Did that change when you look this time instead of when you looked the first time? Did that change when you aligned with knowing that truth that you're a soul? Did it feel different? And what if we looked at everybody outside of us as souls? What if we knew that every single person was a spiritual being? No matter what they did. No matter if they were standing in their big, bad, ugly stuff. No matter what. They're still a child of all that is. A child of God. And they're having their experience. And just allowing that without judging it. So yeah, we have a different world. A world of beauty. Because that's all that it is. Demonstrate love by giving it unconditionally to yourself. I bet you thought I was going to say demonstrate love by giving it to others. No. Demonstrate love by giving it unconditionally to yourself. And this is unconditionally. No conditions. No, I'll love myself if I lose 50 pounds. No, I'll love myself if I become successful at this and this and that. Oh, I'll love myself if I become wealthy. No. No conditions. Loving yourself exactly where you are, who you are, right now. Always. No conditions. And as you do, you will attract others into your life who will love you without conditions. This is the mirror. This is the reflection. When you do this to yourself, you receive that out here. So we think this evidence out here is just going to stay the way it is, and it will if you perceive it through those eyes where you do not invite change, growth, expansion. That's what you're going to see. But when you change that within, the power within, to love yourself unconditionally, that's what will happen. You will reflect it outward, and people will come into your life that will love you unconditionally. That's why the mirror is so important. Because every thought, feeling, belief we have, we reflect it outward. And then it can become a manifestation, a demonstration of what's going on inward. I always know what's going on with people. Not always. That's not a word to put out there. But for the most part, I can tell where people are just because of what is happening in their life. Because that lets me know that that's a reflection of what is happening within themselves. So, paying attention to that. So if you want unconditional love, love yourself. Go within to your heart and fall madly in love with yourself. And I invite you, until you do that, you don't want to bring other people into your world. Because what happens when we do that? We start trying to please them. Right? Every relationship I had, I totally lost myself. Because boom, I'd get into that relationship and I would do what they wanted to do, be who they wanted me to be, look how they wanted me to look, to please them. Negating myself, negating what would have helped me to grow and soar and be this beautiful spiritual being. So I took all those years, one relationship after the other, trying to please somebody else. And what happened? Again, I got sick. And that's what happens to us. When we negate ourselves, when we forget the power that we are within us, when we forget the love that we are, you are love itself. Because you are an expression of Creator. So you are that same love. Yes. I forgive you for not being the way I wanted you to be. I forgive you and I set you free. Of course, this is Louise Hay. So I will invite you, we're going to look at our mirrors and forgive ourselves. The forgiveness for me always is just for myself. Because when I think of forgiving other people, it comes back to me. I'm the one I want to forgive, forever thinking anyone could hurt me. Forever thinking that I was this small being who had no power in herself to stand strong in my truth. So I want to forgive myself for forgetting that, for forgetting our real identity. So I invite you to stay with me as you look in your mirror. If you want to forgive yourself for ever thinking that, together, I forgive you for not being the way I wanted you to be. I forgive you and I set you free. So now we can be what we've come here to be. We can let go of trying to be what someone else thinks we should be. Because then you're the prisoner. You are free when you forgive and you become the expression of who you truly are. So let's look at these lessons. Here's our guide, Ralph Waldo Emerson. He was a New Thought. He was a leader in the New Thought movement. He also channeled most of his work, 1803 to 1886. So let's just look at some of the things he gives us. Thoughts rule the world. Thought is the seed of action. So what are you thinking about yourself? What are your thoughts about yourself? You might want to journal this as things come up. What do you truly think about yourself? What seed are you planting about yourself? Are you thinking in a negative way about yourself? So then you're planting weeds in your garden? Or are you thinking the beauty that you are, the spirit that you are, and planting those beautiful seeds to grow and to flourish? What are you planting? Right? Life is for living. Life is a succession of lessons which must be lived to understand. Do you understand that we are here to learn these lessons? We are here to understand why we need to learn the lesson. It's not just a lesson, but why am I here? Why is this happening to me? And what lesson do I need to learn and understand it? Because it's in the understanding that you don't repeat it again. Right? It is okay to start small. Every artist was first an amateur. So I hear a lot of times when we get in our spiritual groups and stuff, and I hear people saying, well, I wish I was where you are. I would like to feel the way you feel. But I've been on this path for so long, and I've done the spiritual practices. I do the spiritual practices today. They're my everyday tools. That's why I am where I'm at, and you're exactly where you are, depending on what you are doing to go within and be that power. Those are your decisions. That is up to you. And to know that I have to take baby steps in the beginning. You know, if you understand that your patterns of life and your habits of life have become part of your physical being, they create these neural pathways in our physical being that they don't just stop just because we think, well, they're gone. There's a practice by letting go of those to recreate different neural pathways. You have to recreate what you have created for a lifetime, breaking up that pattern. So start small, little bit, and then as you go, you will know the next thing to do. Work on your character. No chance of circumstances can repair a defect of character. Work on your character. Work on knowing who you are, without your name, without your job, without your experience. Knowing who you are, this love and this life. Work on that. If you don't believe that, I think the wind just blew the door open. If you don't believe that, then that's what's going to show up in your life. Whatever you're thinking about yourself is what is going to show up in your life, in a relationship, a situation. So, no chance of circumstance can repair a defect of character. That is not how we repair our defects. Anything that is not in alignment with the truth of love and light is a defect. And we don't repair those by going outside of ourselves. We repair those by going within. Meditation, prayer, affirmations. Action trumps theorizing. An ounce of action is worth a ton of theory. And this is another big thing. These actions that we take. I can see the ones that take the actions, and I see the ones that don't. And in order for you to evolve, it entails energy. It entails movement. It entails stepping forward. Doing whatever you need to come to a spiritual understanding of who you are. It takes action. It takes action. Jesus, our way shower, demonstrated that through his demonstrations. He was action in movement all the time with his teachings. And that's what we must do as well if we want to come into the power within. Think bigger. In art, the hand can never execute anything higher than the heart can imagine. So if we're thinking small about ourselves, we're thinking that we are these people that have no power, that we're very limited, that we're not worthy. If we have all of those thoughts going through our head, that's playing very small. You are big, you are powerful, you are filled with so much love and light, and when you tap into that, you will be a different person. The person you see in the mirror, you will know because it is the person of the self, capital S, the heart person, yes. Conquer daily. He who is not every day conquering some fear has not learned the secret of life. Do you think you wake up with fears? Sure you do. Most of us wake up, and what's the first thing that happens? Our thoughts start going. And most of our thoughts are about the past. Nothing's happened in the future yet. So most of our thoughts are memories coming up of the past. And they're thoughts that we actually repeat day after day after day after day until we short circuit the circuit. We short circuit the circuit. We have to break the pattern. So instead of getting up and thinking about the past and the memories and going back to your story and your experience, what if we just woke up and we said, I'm here right now and I am love, I am light, whatever it is that feels good to you. Whatever feels good to you. Because fear comes in when we are not aligned with that good of us. So we all wake up with a little bit of fear, a little bit of residue from the past. Or fear of not knowing about the future. So I invite you when you wake up to come to that present moment and acknowledge who you are with the I am presence. I am love. That's my big one. I am love. I am light. And then start your day from that point and see what shows up. See what you will reflect out here. So we're going to do another affirmation in our mirror. I lovingly forgive and release all of the past. I choose to live my life with joy. I love and approve of myself. This is one of Louise Hay's, one of her big affirmations that she used on a lot of her healings. And I invite you to write this down and use this every day. So let's look in our mirrors and let's affirm with me. I lovingly forgive and release all of things. Let's say it 3 times. I love and approve of myself. I love and approve of myself. I love and approve of myself. Yes. How does that feel? Do you believe it? Kind of, maybe? Just keep coming home to yourself. You are the one you have been waiting for. If you're sitting around waiting for something out here to bring you the joy, the peace, and the harmony that you already are, you're going to get awful tired because you're going to wait and wait and wait. It is all within you. Fall in love with yourself. Really fall in love with yourself. Love who you are. Love how you look. Love the people that are around you. Love, love, love. You know, when I started loving how I looked, my physical body started changing. I didn't do all that much. I just started loving who I am. And I feel healthy now. Weight's coming off of me. And it's basically because I love who I am. So I'm coming into that spiritual manifestation of the healthy Lisa. The Lisa with well-beingness. That's how we shift what's going on in here. Is coming home to yourself. Being free to be an authentic expression of everything that you are. Being okay to be vulnerable, get angry, cry, feel your feelings. It's okay. What do you think's going to happen? You might release some things, first of all. And the other thing is, you're going to allow the people around you to be vulnerable and authentic as well. Because again, your reflection is going to reflect out here. Right? Keep coming home to yourself. That's who you're waiting for. And once you do that, everything you could ever desire, you will have. Because you will be it, and it will reflect out of you, and that's how we manifest in the moment, right here, right now. Okay? So we're going to go into our meditation. Before we go into our meditation, I want you to, in your bulletin, there's this little poem that I invite you to take home with you. It's by Derek Walcott. And this would be a beautiful gift for you to say to yourself. The time will come when, with elation, you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome and say, sit here, eat. You will love again the stranger who was yourself. Give wine, give bread, give back your heart to itself, to the stranger who has loved you all your life, whom you ignored, for another who knows you by heart. Take down the love letters from the bookshelf, the photographs, the desperate notes. Peel your own image from the mirror. Sit, feast on your life. Beautiful poem just to connect you with you. Whew. So this meditation we're getting ready to do is a mirroring meditation. So you're going to need your mirrors if you want to do it. It's a very different kind of meditation. It's from Louise Hay. So I invite you to do it if you would like to fall in love with yourself. I invite you to get your mirrors out and do that. So let's ground. We always ground before meditation. So let's just take your feet, put them flat on the ground, and envision the roots, the cords, the crystal light. Just envision that coming from your feet as well as your tailbone, out of the bottom of your spine. And just envision connecting to the core of Mother Earth. Wrapping yourself around Mother Earth as we ground into her, into that vibration of nature. And now come back up into the heart. And envision your heart opening up to receive. Go up to the crown. We open the crown and we receive source life through the crown. And as you go into meditation, pay attention to what you're thinking. What's coming up? Is there something you want to release today that keeps you from being the spiritual self that you are? What can you release from that today? What can you affirm has truth? Let's take some deep cleansing breaths as we go into our meditation. And you'll have to be awake and aware and do the meditation. It's not one where you keep your eyes closed.
Guided play.